Good morning, it is Jane with Scraptastic Yarns and I have a finished object. I know that doesn't seem like it should be something I should be excited about, but the way things have been going this year, I'm excited about it, okay? Alright, the shawl is finished. So let me get that up there so you can see it. Nice edging. And then of course the trim around the bottom. And yes, this yarn is meant to do what it does. You're going to see those ends there. It fuzzes up, but that is the way that this yarn is meant to be once it is washed and all blocked and all that. Doesn't matter how you wash it. You can wash it by hand, you can wash it in machine. It's still going to do it. That's the nature of this yarn. However, I do have a finished object. So, I am absolutely thrilled. And that will be going to prayer shawl later on this week. Since it is the first week in August, we have prayer shawl this Wednesday. So, it's going to be dropped off there. Now, I did start another project. I have not been working on my knitted cardigan. I found wearing the brace, it's a little hard to hold the knitting needles. My hand starts to cramp and all kinds of fun stuff. So, you know, I was laughing because when we were, my friend Jerry and I, when we were on our way to the gospel concerts that we go to every Sunday night, I said to her, maybe I should just run the needle through the brace. You know, maybe that'll help. I don't know. Also, because of the numbness, sometimes I don't realize I have a grip on the needle. So, you know, you got to come up with ways to work it, right? Right? Okay. But I did start another project. What I started is a modern granny square blanket. And I am using 3 colors in this blanket. This is that bluebell, and this is the new one by Red Heart, the light blue speckle yarn. And then I will be using a white around it. White will go around the blue speckle, and then I'll go back to that bluebell color, and then the speckle, and then the white, and then the white will be the trim for the blanket. So I've been working on that yesterday while I was waiting for a repairman. Oh yeah, it's been a week. Hadn't even been a full week. Friday afternoon, about maybe 4:15, I decided that I was going to go sweep up the room that I call the office. So I go to get the broom out of the utility room, which is where my heating air conditioning unit is. And I find this. Well, it almost looks like it's coming out of that. It's all over the top of the unit. All down along the sides, down into the floor. Looks like it's a little bit further back. Can't tell for sure because I ain't stepping back there. But you can see the mop is wet. Did you notice anything? Yeah, so you hear me whining in that video as well as see the nice puddle. And it was flowing like a river anytime the air conditioner came on. So I called the heating and, you know, people, and they tell me everybody's gone home. Now, mind you, by the time I get a hold of them, it's 4:20. Everybody's already gone home. Really? Really? But they'll try to get someone to come out and look at it. So they send out this kid. To me, he looked like he was about 17. He goes, he pulls the air filter out, opens the door and looks at it and says, well, the air filter should take care of it. Most likely it's because your coil is frozen. The coil where you touch wasn't cold. There was no ice whatsoever, no condensation on the outside other than the river that was flowing. And of course, I just kind of gave him the look, like, really? You're going to go with that? And he said, well, try not to run it as much as possible. And the only other thing I can tell you is, towels to clean it up as it happens. We'll send somebody Monday. Well, I know enough about air conditioning units that if it is indeed the coil is frozen, which I find hard to believe because I keep the temperature in this house at 73, 72 at the, most. When it was really hot, 95 outside, I was running it at 71, Well, you turn off the AC unit and you let the fan run. So that's what I did, and slept the rest that night, slept with the ceiling fan on in the bedroom, which was fine. It wasn't that big a deal. But as you can see, there is vinyl flooring on there, and the unit is sitting on bricks. But one of my girlfriends came over and we were looking at it and we were doing some things and taking pictures to document for the insurance company. So we're on the floor underneath the unit, looking underneath the unit, taking the pictures. Every time you stepped on the vinyl flooring, water stepped up. So we're trying to get it up. We're using the vac, the shop vac to suck up all the water that we can get. And we noticed that the unit is sitting on 4 bricks. Underneath the bricks, they had cardboard. We don't know if the cardboard was to level it up or why they had cardboard underneath it. But now, and I've had a fan blowing on it the entire time, a heater fan blowing on it all weekend. It's now Tuesday. To dry it up because I don't want mold. But we know that it's already gone back into the bathroom that's behind the utility room because as you saw, the baseboard is showing damage. Don't know what's behind that wall because we haven't pulled anything to see, if there's an issue back there, if it's leaking back there or what. But the guy comes out yesterday. First thing he does, he looks at me and he says, we're going to fix it. It looks like it's an airflow issue. Let me run some tests. Runs all the tests. Now the static flow is high. Shouldn't be as high as it is. But he says it's within the parameters. And he says the biggest issue he sees is that the ductwork looks like it's smaller than what should have been for that unit. He said, I will cap this off. And I'd said to him, because my son had already talked to this company before we put this in to see if they knew what they were doing when they installed it, since it's propane, that kind of thing generated. So, first thing he asked is why they didn't put in a switch float, which would turn the unit off completely in case of a leak, and why that wasn't capped off to begin with. And this fellow proceeds to tell me, well, the older gentleman that put it in doesn't cap these off. I've been following him for the past 2 weeks, fixing all these mistakes. He said the ductwork is too small for the house and the unit. Don't know that we can fix that, but if it is an airflow fish issue, we can do that. It was a mistake made in installation, all this fun stuff. I said, okay, but what about the cardboard under the bricks? We're gonna have mildew, probably mold. So that's what I'm fighting right now, hoping that that doesn't mold. My girlfriend and I, basically, we have been taking fishing line, trying to get that cardboard out from underneath the blocks, which we've gotten quite a bit of it out, but you can still smell that mildew. Why they put it on top of the vinyl flooring, I have no idea, because it should have just been the concrete slab that was there. So I don't know if that was a contractor that said, yeah, I'm going to put the flooring in so it looks at least neat when you open up the door. I don't know. He's not giving me an answer, but, you know, now I have a little bit of an issue. So hopefully things will work out. The contractor said that, yes, he will come replace that baseboard. And like I told him, I said the baseboard I'm not really that concerned about, you know, because I can do that. So what I'm concerned about is behind that wall. Is there water that is standing that's going to create mold? Is there a further leak back there, which nobody can tell me without breaking through the wall? So, yeah. Fun times. That's all I can say. Fun times. Okay. Now, let me show you a couple of other things. I did purchase some fabric that I'm going to turn into some bags, and I've been having fun with this because I just love this color combination. Let me show you the fabric. This fabric I think is absolutely stunning. And it says, you know, you can grow your own way, don't worry. I've got sunshine on a cloudy day. The sunflowers, butterflies, beautiful flowers, those kind of things. But then I'm pairing it with the purple. So, stunning combination. I'll be making a couple of bags with that. And they should be up at the end of the week. The only other thing that I have been making is I have been making, these are garbage bag holders with some of the leftover fabrics that I have, because, you know, I could patch them together and make a patchwork tote, but I don't know, I don't like it. So this is that kitty in the garden, have some fall flowers, and then just some of the interior trims that I'm turning into those. In October, every year, I do a craft fair with the Christian Women's Luncheon group that I go to. So I'll be taking some of those for that, but I'll also be putting those up in the shop later on. And those I think I'm going to sell for 10, you know. These will hold about, and they're going to be various sizes in length because of the scraps that I have left. But what I've done is I've made sure that the top elastic is larger than the bottom, so that you're able to put your bags in there. And they hold about anywhere from 20 to 30 bags of the plastic bags. Of course, those of you that can't use plastic in your areas, that will not help you whatsoever. Some of the other things that I'm doing is I am making some shopping bags with some of these scraps as well. And they are going to be scrapped together with a interfacing so that they're bonded, so you don't have to worry about seams coming apart. Some foldable shopping bags, because I know some of you just, you're not allowed to have plastic, which I find rather interesting because you have all the stuff in the stores that comes in plastic. Ketchup, mustard, mayonnaise. I mean, you name it, all these things come in plastic, but you're not allowed to have plastic bags to take your groceries home in. Well, what can I say? But I use most of the time I do not use the plastic bags at the store. The only place that I do use them is when I'm shopping at Walmart, because I use those plastic bags as trash can liners in my bathrooms. So, that's why I'm going to keep shopping in some of those places. And of course, some of those other stores you go to, sometimes I don't have a shopping bag with me, so yeah, I take it home in a plastic bag. What can I say? And most of the time plastic bags are recyclable anyway, which is why sometimes when you go, the plastic seems extra thin, is because it's been recycled so many times. But it's still a good thing, can be recycled. I think that is it for now. Other than that, let's get into a little what in Tarnation. Now this first story is in my local area, sort of. It's a couple miles away, probably about an hour and a half away, but I found it rather interesting, and there is video of it. Unique raft floating down Susquehanna River. When you look at the river, you expect to see a fishing boat or maybe some kayakers, but this is no ordinary vessel. It's a sight on the Susquehanna that's drawing attention. A group of friends floating down the river on a towering raft they built by hand. Everyone is waving at us, and we had trains honking at us and trucks. Even one time we had a plane flying over us, and he waved his wings. So a lot of people have noticed, said Cody Stang of Mashopin. How could you not with a raft like this? It's made out of 2x4s and barrels to keep them afloat. The adventure is a summertime tradition the northeastern Pennsylvania natives started back in 2018. It started off with just 2 pallets by 3 pallets, altogether real small. Just every year we made it bigger and bigger, and now it's a triple-decker, explained Stang. Quite a few challenges, some trees that would try to take down the flagpoles or the third deck, but it really is sturdy even to stand on the whole time. It has weathered well, said Parkston Myers of Lake Winola. These guys thought of everything they would need for their 4-day float from Falls in Wyoming County to Hanover Township in Luzerne County. A bunch of coolers. We have a propane grill. We got speakers, a bunch of chairs and food. Lots of food with a whole lot of space. It's been a good time, and most importantly, friends, said Stang. We like to sing songs, card games like Uno. We have a poker, so we spend our time that way as well. We have books to do some reading and lots of conversation. That's the main thing. We are all talking about all kinds of stuff, explained Andrew Kazmarazak of Dalton. The group spends the rest of the time swimming, kayaking, and fishing. But most importantly, catching up with good friends, creating lifelong memories. This is our entertainment. Instead of going to bars or something on the weekends, we hang out together and we do things that are wholesome in our minds, said Kazmarazak. The guys tell Newswatch 16 now that their adventure has come to a close. It's time to pack it all up and prepare for next year. Like I said, there's video. It's rather amazing. Now this next one, the video on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it nowadays. I think it's Twitter, maybe it's Facebook, where the video is. It does look like a human in a suit. But who knows? Chinese zoo denies its sun bear is a human in a costume. Officials at a Chinese zoo denied that a sun bear seen in a viral video filmed at the facility is a human wearing a costume. The Hangzhou Zoo in Shanghai. I'm not even going to try to figure that out. Responded on WeChat after members of the public questioned whether a video filmed at the zoo depicted an actual sun bear or a human in a costume. The video shows the animal standing on two legs and striking a human-like posture. Commenters also pointed out pleats on the human animal's backside resembled bunched clothing, but a zoo official said that is a normal part of the sun bear anatomy. Zheng Ji, deputy director of Hangzhou Zoo, said some of the confusion likely comes from the bear being misidentified as a black bear in social media posts. He said sun bears are much smaller with shorter fur and a different body shape. Well, they are. But the reason they're called a sun bear is because they have a sun on their chest. At least it looks like a sun. A zoo spokesman also said in a second WeChat post that the temperature at the zoo lately has been reaching 104 degrees, much too hot for a human to survive for more than a few minutes in a heavy bear suit. Okay, but it does look like a human. Civet family rudely disturbed while playing in the rain. 5 civet cats were seen running and playing in the rain during the day until they were chased off into the bush in Kruger National Park. You'll recognize that as from latest sightings. 66-year-old Linda Stedman experienced this once-in-a-lifetime sighting and shared it with latestsightings.com. On a day filled with anticipation and excitement, we were driving along the S1, making our way towards Nyamondowa Dam. Not sure if I'm pronouncing that right. The plan was to take the dirt road leading to Pretorius Cop, but fate had a different surprise in store for us. As we came around the bend, we stumbled upon a civet mother and her 4 adorable cubs. It is a rarity to witness these shy creatures in broad daylight, let alone a family of 5 together. Thrilled by the sight, we decided to savor the moment for as long as possible. We spent approximately 10 minutes watching the playful cubs and their mother. The mother civet did not look nervous by our presence. She continued down the road with the curious cubs playing around her. Our encounter took an unfortunate turn when another vehicle arrived on the scene. Startled by the other car, the civet family darted into safety of the long grass, marking the ending of the sighting. Nevertheless, the short-lived encounter left us feeling grateful for the unique experience we had just witnessed. Take your time going past a stationary or slow-moving vehicle. They have obviously seen something, and it gets really frustrating when others fly by, spoiling a sighting. Capturing the civet family on camera proved difficult due to their constant movement and the unfavorable weather conditions, combination of poor lighting and rain. Yet I persevered, knowing that the images I could capture would be the memory of a lifetime. 3 whales caught on camera breaching together off Massachusetts. Now, this story I find rather interesting. I hope you'll listen to the interview of the fellow. As he describes it. A family fishing off the coast of Massachusetts captured video of a rare moment when 3 humpback whales jumped out of the water in unison. Robert Addy said he was fishing with his daughters and son-in-law near Provincetown when he started recording video of some nearby whales. Addy's footage captured the moment 3 of the whales breached at the same time, followed by a nearby juvenile a few moments later. I've been on the water a long time. I've worked sword and tuna out of Gloucester. I've worked fishing in Alaska as a young man, and I've seen a lot of whales, he told WFXT TV. I'll tell you, I've never seen a triple in sync like that. Philip Hamilton, senior scientist at the New England Aquarium, said whales have been known to breach in unison, but 3 at the same time is a bit rarer to see. God was shining down on my family, Addie told the Washington Post. It was just a fantastic day on the water. Listen to the interview and you'll see why he felt like God was shining down on his family. More than 200 ponies make the annual swim across the Virginia Channel. One of these days, I'm gonna get to Chincoteague to see it. More than 200 ponies were herded across the Assateague Channel to Chincoteague Island in Virginia for the 98th annual Chincoteague Pony Swim. The annual event, organized by the Chincoteague Volunteer Fire Company, sees the foals from Assateague Island herd of wild ponies brought across the Assateague Channel by a team of saltwater cowboys. The equines are then paraded through the streets to the carnival ground. The purpose of the event is to separate foals for auction as a means of keeping the herd from overexpanding. The first foal to reach the shore is crowned King or Queen Neptune and is given away in a raffle at the auction. This year's Queen Neptune was a chestnut-colored filly, designated number 70. Some of the foals are designated as buyback ponies, and they are auctioned for naming rights only before being returned to the herd on Assateague Island. The money raised by the auction goes to the Chincoteague Volunteer Fire Company, which designates some of the funds for the herd's veterinary care, which is a good thing. Funds from one designated pony are donated to a local charity chosen each year. Come on, guys, that is a fantastic idea and way to keep track of these ponies that run wild. And they're beautiful out in the wild. All right. Pearl found in clam at Maine restaurant becomes an engagement ring. A Rhode Island woman found a pearl in a clam she was served at a restaurant, and it ended up becoming her engagement ring. Sandy Sikorsky and Ken Stenkamp said they were dining at the Bridge Restaurant and Raw Bar in downtown Westerly with Sikorsky's brother and his wife in December 2021 when Sikorsky ate the last of the quahog clams. That's when I tasted this big round thing in my mouth, and I'm thinking, what the heck is this? So I take it and spit it out on the table in my hand. My sister-in-law says, "Is that a tooth?" Sikorsky told WJRT-TV. Sikorsky's sister-in-law, a jewelry enthusiast, surmised the object was a 9.8 millimeter pearl. Mark Fishbone of Black Orchid Jewelers examined the object and confirmed the suspicions. He said it is called a mercenary pearl, which a mollusk type of little animal which makes what looks like a little pearl. It's made out of the same material, calcite and other mineral in it, and takes years and years to grow, Sikorsky said. He said the weight of this and the size of this is probably 50 years to make. Sikorsky and Steinkamp agreed that if they ever decided to get married, they would have the pearl made into an engagement ring. That plan came to pass when Steinkamp proposed July 8th, using a ring Fishbone had fashioned with the pearl as its stone. The couple celebrated their engagement by returning to the restaurant where they shared their story with hostess Myra Diosio. It's nice to see them again and hear that story. It's a fairy tale. Battery died. Sorry about that. It's magical. You hear about, oh, I hope to find something in here, but you never do. It's always a piece of rock or sand. The restaurant shared photos of the pearl and the ring on social media. Thank you to Sandy B for sharing this delightful story, and congratulations, the Post said. You know, watch the video about this story, and I find it rather interesting because there are more and more scams that are coming up, and at least some of these companies now are starting to take care of these issues. Woman receives over 100 Amazon packages she never ordered. A Virginia woman received more than 100 Amazon packages she didn't order, including headlamps, glue guns, and binoculars. Us crafters would love both the headlamps and the glue guns. Cindy Smith said the boxes recently started showing showing up at her Prince William County home, and soon she had received about 1,000 headlamps, 800 glue guns, and dozens of pairs of binoculars. A lot of people told me I was weird, Smith told WUSA TV. I would drive around with headlights and glue guns in the car. I gave them to everybody I met. Can you imagine that? Wait a minute, here, I have a gift for you. The boxes bore Smith's address, but the name, Liaxo Zhang, it's a Chinese name, a name Smith said she had never heard before. We initially thought it was a brushing scan, Smith said, referring to the process of an online vendor creating fake sales of their products in order to artificially inflate their number of 5-star reviews. You would think that they would make it so that if you didn't purchase it, you couldn't review it. Liz Geltman of Washington faced a similar situation in May when her house was quickly filled with packages of children's sheets she hadn't ordered. Amazon officials said they looked into both incidents and discovered both Smith and Geltman's packages were the result of vendors having packages shipped to random addresses in order to remove unsold merchandise from Amazon's fulfillment centers. They never choose me. They choose you. It all boils down to money, New York-based attorney C.J. Rosenbaum said of the scheme. You have sellers located in China who are just picking random addresses, and then when they need to get their products out of Amazon's warehouses, they're just having them sent there because it's cheaper for them to do so. Amazon said the seller's account has been closed. It was unclear whether a similar scam was responsible for Connie Matthews of Sacramento, California's receiving about 100 space heaters she never ordered from Amazon in December of 2022. And I did share that story with you as well. So yeah, you know, how come they don't ever send to my address? I'd take some of those freebie things and sell them on eBay or whatever. I don't know. I'm just kidding, guys. I don't want those kind of packages coming. All right, today's Bible devotional I'm going to read from the Pocket Bible Devotional for Women. And I believe you can still get this at Ollie's if you have an Ollie's near you. Since it's August the 1st, our first devotional has quite a few little stories, so let's get into it. More than just a ring. Love each other with genuine affection. Take delight in honoring each other. That comes from Romans 12:10, the New Living Testament. Love is patient. Love is kind. It does not envy. It does not boast. It is not proud. It does not dishonor others. It is not self-seeking. It is not easily angered. It keeps no record of wrongs. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres. And that comes from 1 Corinthians 13:4-7, New International Version. Each one of you also must love his wife as he loves himself, and the wife must respect her husband. Ephesians 5:33, New International Version. Quite honestly, if you have that, it's easy for the wife to respect her husband. Next one, be like-minded, be sympathetic, love one another, be compassionate and humble. Do not repay evil with evil or insult with insult. On the contrary, repay evil with blessing, because to this you were called so that you may inherit a blessing. 1 Peter chapter 3, verses 8-9, New International Version. Let marriage be held in honor among all, and let the marriage bed be undefiled. That comes from Hebrews verse 4, the English Standard Version. The Christian wife brings holiness to her marriage, and the Christian husband brings holiness to his marriage. Otherwise, your children would not be holy, but now they are holy. 1 Corinthians chapter 7, verse 14, New Living Translation. For better or worse has changed to outwit and outlast in marriages these days. Instead of the husband and wife living together in perfect unity, where they complement each other and become stronger together, it has become a competition. Marriage is a godly institution, a flame lit by God that starts with butterflies in your stomach and stars in your eyes. Pray together, otherwise you leave your marriage open to attack by the devil. Marital bliss starts with a choice. Choose happiness and love. And that is it for today's devotional. As always, be kind to one another, love one another, and I will see you again soon. And pray that I don't have any mold. See you guys soon. Bye.